In every room you enter, respect is not something you can demand. It is not given because you raise your voice or try to assert dominance. True respect is earned quietly. It comes from the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the presence you bring into a space. People notice more than just words. They notice calm confidence, the subtle strength in your posture, the patience in your tone, and the clarity in your mind. These qualities communicate authority without the need to shout. They signal that you are steady, thoughtful, and deliberate in your actions. When you cultivate this quiet presence, others naturally respond to it. They listen more attentively, they take your words more seriously, and they are more likely to trust your judgment. This is not about manipulation or strategy. It is about being grounded in yourself, about understanding your own mind, and allowing that understanding to guide how you interact with the world. Today, we will focus on 8 phrases that can grant influence without ever raising your voice. These phrases are drawn from Stoic wisdom, refined over centuries, yet perfectly applicable to modern life. Each phrase is more than just a sentence. It is a tool for cultivating calm authority, a way to communicate that you are thoughtful, composed, and confident. When spoken at the right moment, these words have the power to shift conversations, resolve tension, and inspire cooperation. They do not rely on volume or force. They rely on clarity, emotional intelligence, and presence. The effect is subtle, yet profound. Like the surface of a still lake, calm words can create ripples that move through a room and affect everyone in it. They reach people in a way that commands attention without demanding it. People do not resist them. Instead, they are drawn toward them, even without fully understanding why. This is the essence of quiet power. Consider for a moment the last time you encountered someone who spoke and instantly commanded respect without shouting. Perhaps it was a teacher, a colleague, or a friend. How did it feel to be in their presence? There was no tension. There was no need for volume or dramatics. Yet you could sense their authority, their presence, their confidence. The room seemed to respond naturally to them. That is the kind of influence we are cultivating here. It is not learned overnight. It is practiced patiently, moment by moment, through the words we choose and the way we carry ourselves. You can bring this influence into your daily conversations, into your work meetings, and into your personal relationships. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to practice quiet authority, to demonstrate composure, and to inspire respect. By the end of this video, these 8 Stoic phrases will no longer feel foreign or difficult to use. They will become natural extensions of your own voice. You will learn how to speak with calm authority in situations where people might otherwise compete to be heard. You will learn how to maintain presence even when discussions grow tense. You will learn how to inspire respect, not through noise, but through clarity, integrity, and thoughtful communication. When you begin to internalize these phrases and use them consistently, you will notice a change in how people respond to you. The respect you receive will feel effortless because it is grounded in the authority of someone who understands themselves and acts from that understanding. This is the power of quiet mastery, and it is the foundation for every interaction you will have from this moment forward. Many people believe that to be heard, they must raise their voices. They think that volume will fill the silence and force others to pay attention. They hope that by speaking louder, they can assert control or demonstrate authority. Yet, the truth is very different. True respect is not something that can be demanded. It cannot be forced through noise, intensity, or aggressive behavior. Respect is inspired. It grows naturally when others recognize the calm confidence, thoughtfulness, and presence in your demeanor. Those who rely on shouting or domination may gain temporary attention, but the influence they hold is fragile. Over time, their words carry less weight because they are not rooted in self-control or clarity. People may listen for a moment, but they do not truly follow. nor do they trust. This is an important distinction, one that many overlook in daily life. Psychology helps us understand why calm and measured communication works so effectively. Humans are wired to respond to confidence and composure. When someone speaks with calm assurance, it signals stability, clarity, and control. When someone raises their voice or becomes aggressive, it triggers defensiveness and anxiety. People naturally resist being pushed. They may appear to comply in the moment, but internally, tension and doubt grow. Calm communication, in contrast, draws attention effortlessly because it conveys mastery of oneself. It is not intimidating. It is magnetic. It creates space for others to listen, consider, and respond thoughtfully. This is why influence built on composure is far more enduring than influence built on force or loudness. Consider the last argument or confrontation you witnessed. Often, the person who shouted the loudest or spoke the fastest seemed to dominate the moment. They may have appeared to win the exchange, but in the long term, their credibility often suffered. People remember the chaos, the tension, and the discomfort more than the points being made. Authority gained through aggression is always temporary. Those who act with calm clarity, who respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, often hold the real power. Their presence carries weight because it is consistent, deliberate, and measured. This contrast is subtle but undeniable. One approach drains energy and breeds resistance. The other builds trust and commands respect without a single raised voice. Stoic philosophers understood this principle deeply. Epictetus reminded us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. The lesson is simple yet profound. External events, other people's words, and even provocations are beyond our control. What we can control is our response. When we respond calmly and deliberately, we command attention naturally. Calm control signals competence, clarity, and presence. It communicates strength without aggression. It inspires trust and encourages cooperation. This is the essence of quiet authority. The contrast becomes clear when you reflect on your own experiences. On one hand, there is the frustration of being unheard, ignored, or dismissed. On the other hand, there is the quiet, magnetic authority that arises from measured, thoughtful communication. The first produces tension and resistance. The second creates influence and lasting respect. By practicing these phrases and approaches, you step away from reactive aggression. You leave behind the habit of speaking to fill silence and step into deliberate, intentional influence. You begin to speak with purpose, clarity, and authority that is recognized naturally by others. Over time, this practice reshapes not only how people respond to you, but also how you experience your own presence in every conversation. Calmness becomes a tool, thoughtfulness becomes a habit, and respect becomes a natural outcome of the way you choose to communicate. Today's discussion is not simply about learning phrases to speak politely or cleverly. It is about cultivating a voice that carries weight without noise. It is about developing a presence that communicates authority and earns respect naturally. The words you choose, the tone you use, and the timing of your responses all contribute to the way others perceive you. When these elements are aligned, you do not need to raise your voice to be heard. Influence emerges quietly, through clarity and thoughtfulness. Each phrase we will explore is deeply anchored in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that true power comes from mastery over oneself, from calm reflection, and from measured action. These ideas are reinforced by modern psychology, which shows that people respond to confidence, composure, and deliberate communication. The application is immediate. By making small adjustments in wording, tone, and timing, you can transform your presence. You will notice that conversations become smoother, tension diminishes and others respond with genuine attention and respect. If you are ready to transform the way others perceive you, take a moment now to engage with this content. Like this video, comment the word respect below, and subscribe for more guidance on cultivating quiet authority. This community is for those who value presence over noise, clarity over chaos, and wisdom over shouting. Here, we focus on building influence through calm, deliberate action, and the skills you develop will carry over into every part of your life. The first phrase we will focus on is simple yet powerful. Let's explore this together. At first, it may seem ordinary, almost casual. However, its impact lies not in complexity, but in the mindset it represents and the effect it has on others. This phrase communicates collaboration rather than competition. It signals that you are present, thoughtful, and willing to engage without asserting dominance. By saying these words, you invite others into a shared space of thinking, reflection, and problem-solving. You are not commanding, arguing, or pushing your perspective. You are creating an environment where ideas can emerge naturally and people feel included in the process. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of collaboration and humility. He understood that true authority is not demonstrated by force, noise, or intimidation. Instead, it is enhanced when others feel acknowledged and respected. When you invite someone to explore a topic together, you lead without imposing. Leadership in this sense is less about controlling outcomes and more about guiding a collective understanding. Authority arises quietly from a sense of shared purpose and mutual respect. When you adopt this approach, you signal that you are confident in your own understanding, yet open to the perspectives of others. This balance is essential because it demonstrates strength without aggression. You are neither defensive nor reactive, and that steadiness draws attention naturally. Psychologically, this phrase works because it creates a sense of safety in the minds of those around you. Humans are social creatures, and we are wired to respond positively to inclusion and acknowledgement. When someone feels valued rather than controlled, their defenses lower. Their attention is no longer focused on resisting or protecting themselves, but on engaging with the conversation. Let's explore this together subtly communicates that you see their perspective, that their thoughts matter, and that collaboration is more important than proving a point. This creates a calm and open space in which ideas can be exchanged freely. People are more likely to listen, to consider, and to respond thoughtfully. Influence is naturally drawn to those who inspire confidence and trust, and this phrase fosters both. Imagine a meeting in which tensions are rising. Different opinions clash, voices grow slightly sharper, and the air feels heavy with the potential for conflict. In such a moment, if you speak with urgency or attempt to dominate the conversation, the situation often escalates further. People may tune out, argue back, or feel defensive. Now picture yourself pausing, taking a measured breath and calmly saying, "Let's explore this together." The effect is immediate. The room shifts subtly, even if you do not notice it at first. People stop reacting purely out of emotion. They begin to listen, to consider, and to engage with intention. The phrase signals that you are in control of your own emotions, that you are not seeking to overpower anyone, and that you value collaboration over confrontation. This calm presence encourages others to mirror your behavior. In daily life, this phrase can be used in countless situations. At work, it can soften a tense discussion with colleagues. During meetings, it can encourage productive brainstorming without forcing agreement. With family or friends, it can ease disagreements and create space for shared solutions. In client interactions or negotiations, it can establish trust and convey that you are guided by reason and understanding rather than self-interest or impatience. The practical applications are vast. but the underlying principle is always the same. Respect and curiosity are more influential than noise or force. When you consistently approach conversations with this mindset, your presence becomes naturally commanding. People respond not because they are compelled, but because they feel understood and included. It is important to recognize that using this phrase is not an act of submission. It is not a way to avoid conflict or to weaken your position. On the contrary, it represents strategic influence grounded in awareness and emotional intelligence. You are choosing your words carefully, speaking with intention, and guiding the interaction toward thoughtful outcomes. You are aware of your own authority and are exercising it subtly, without needing to assert dominance. This approach requires discipline. You must resist the impulse to interrupt, to dominate, or to escalate emotionally. You must listen as much as you speak and allow space for others to express themselves fully. In doing so, you demonstrate that your authority is rooted in clarity, composure, and understanding. If we reflect on this first phrase, it teaches inclusion. It demonstrates how calm, thoughtful communication can shift the dynamics of a conversation, resolve tension, and establish authority without aggression. By using it, you invite collaboration, encourage open dialogue, and earn respect naturally. The approach is not about submission, nor is it about manipulation. It is about deliberate influence, emotional intelligence, and consistent presence. The next phrase builds on this foundation, teaching firmness without force, showing how you can maintain authority while remaining composed and collaborative. By mastering this first phrase, you set the stage for a transformative approach to every interaction, cultivating respect and influence that is both quiet and enduring. The second phrase we will focus on is, "I understand your point, and here is my perspective." On the surface, it may seem simple, even ordinary, yet its power comes not from clever wording, but from the mindset it represents and the way it shapes interactions. When you use this phrase, you signal that you are listening attentively. You communicate that you are thoughtful, deliberate, and emotionally present. You are not reacting impulsively or asserting authority through volume or force. Instead, you are guiding the conversation with clarity and composure. This approach builds influence quietly, naturally, and with integrity. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us that wisdom begins with understanding. True knowledge and judgment are not possible without first listening carefully to what others have to say. Hearing someone fully before offering your own viewpoint demonstrates self-control, emotional intelligence, and discipline. It shows that your authority is grounded not in ego or urgency, but in reflection and awareness. When you acknowledge another person's perspective before responding, you show respect for their thoughts while establishing that your own contribution is deliberate and considered. This is a demonstration of mastery over yourself. It signals to others that you do not speak out of haste or reactivity, but from reason and insight. Modern research in cognitive science reinforces this principle. Studies show that acknowledgement reduces defensiveness in communication. People are more open, receptive, and cooperative when they feel understood. If someone is ignored, interrupted, or dismissed, their natural reaction is to protect themselves. Their attention shifts toward resistance, and they become less likely to consider alternative viewpoints. By contrast, when you say, "I understand your point, and here is my perspective," you lower their defenses. You create a safe mental space for dialogue, signaling that their thoughts are valid and appreciated. In this environment, your words carry weight because they are heard with genuine attention and respect. Influence arises not from insistence, but from the calm authority of someone who listens first and speaks second. Picture a debate or a discussion where differing opinions are strong and tensions are rising. The instinct for many is to interrupt or speak quickly to assert a point. This often escalates conflict and diminishes the effectiveness of communication. Now imagine pausing, taking a measured breath, and calmly saying, "I understand your point, and here is my perspective." The room shifts immediately. People respond to the steadiness in your voice. They recognize that you are engaging thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. Your words carry authority, not because they are loud or forceful, but because they are deliberate, considered, and respectful. The dynamic changes from confrontation to collaboration. Others feel acknowledged and are more willing to hear your ideas. You demonstrate guidance without domination, which is the essence of subtle, enduring influence. This phrase also signals maturity and reflection. It communicates that you are not driven by impulse or need for control. You are leading by example, showing that thoughtful listening precedes clear expression. This approach is applicable in all areas of life. In leadership, it ensures that colleagues or teams feel valued while your guidance remains clear and intentional. In parenting, it allows children to feel heard while you establish boundaries and teach lessons calmly. In friendships and personal relationships, it fosters trust, understanding, and collaboration. In client interactions or negotiations, it builds credibility and encourages cooperation. Across all situations, this phrase transforms potential resistance into engagement, creating a space where dialogue is productive and respect is earned naturally. Authority is not something that is taken or forced. It is quietly recognized when people witness composure, clarity, and thoughtful engagement. A person who listens before responding demonstrates that they are in control of themselves and the conversation. This quiet mastery is far more persuasive than any loud argument or aggressive assertion. People instinctively respond to calm presence. They sense that your authority is grounded in understanding rather than intimidation. Using this phrase consistently cultivates a reputation for measured wisdom. Others know that when you speak, your words are considered, intentional, and reliable. Influence grows organically from this awareness. Employing this phrase also strengthens your own discipline. It trains you to pause, to reflect, and to respond deliberately rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this habit becomes automatic. You develop the ability to maintain calm under pressure, think clearly in tense situations, and communicate effectively in every type of interaction. The benefits extend beyond immediate conversations. Your presence in meetings, discussions, and social interactions becomes consistently steady, respected, and impactful. People come to expect that when you speak, it will be thoughtful and measured. This enhances your credibility and builds lasting influence. When applied thoughtfully, this phrase bridges understanding and influence. It acknowledges the value of others' perspectives while allowing you to contribute your own. It shifts the focus from conflict to dialogue and from opposition to collaboration. By demonstrating that you are listening fully before offering your own viewpoint, you establish an environment in which respect and receptivity flourish. Your presence becomes a model of calm, reflective authority. Others naturally mirror this behavior, and conversations flow more smoothly, with less tension and more constructive outcomes. As we reflect on this second phrase, its impact becomes clear. It builds on the foundation established by the first phrase, which emphasized inclusion and collaboration. This phrase adds understanding and thoughtful expression. Together, they create a pattern of quiet influence that is respected rather than demanded. You invite others into dialogue and respond with awareness, creating an interaction that is calm, deliberate, and productive. The next phrase will extend this foundation, showing how to communicate firmness and boundaries without aggression, maintaining authority while fostering respect. Mastering this second phrase ensures that your voice carries weight through clarity, reflection, and composure, establishing influence that is enduring and natural. The third phrase we will focus on is, I appreciate your honesty. At first glance, it may appear simple, almost a polite acknowledgement. Yet its power lies not in politeness alone, but in the principle it embodies. When you say this phrase, you are recognizing the value of truth, encouraging openness, and creating trust. It communicates that you are attentive, composed, and able to engage with others without judgment or defensiveness. This phrase does not merely acknowledge a statement, it signals that you are listening deeply and that you honor transparency in communication. When used thoughtfully, it can shift the dynamics of a conversation, diffusing tension and establishing calm authority. Epictetus, one of the most insightful Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of truth and integrity. He taught that honesty is a cornerstone of meaningful relationships and effective leadership. Recognizing another person's honesty, even when it may be uncomfortable or challenging, demonstrates wisdom and self-control. It shows that you are not threatened by truth, that you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. In this way, the phrase, I appreciate your honesty, becomes a tool for influence. It positions you as someone who values clarity and integrity, someone who is steady and emotionally present. People naturally respect those who do not fear the truth and who can respond with composure. Modern psychology supports this approach. Gratitude and acknowledgement have profound effects on human behavior. When someone feels recognized and appreciated, it activates positive reinforcement in their mind. Their natural defensiveness decreases, and their willingness to engage thoughtfully increases. Saying, I appreciate your honesty, signals that you are not dismissive or reactive. It encourages continued transparency and collaboration. In contrast, dismissing or ignoring honesty can provoke resistance, reduce openness, and create tension. Using this phrase consistently strengthens trust in both personal and professional relationships. It creates an environment where people feel safe to share, confident that they will be met with calm attention rather than judgment. Imagine a workplace confrontation where emotions are high, opinions clash, voices are tense, and misunderstandings risk escalating. Many would instinctively react defensively or attempt to regain control through louder argument or interruption. Now, consider pausing and calmly responding with, I appreciate your honesty. The effect is immediate. Tension is deflected, and the other person feels acknowledged rather than attacked. Your words convey authority without aggression. They demonstrate emotional intelligence, showing that you can manage your own reactions while recognizing the contributions of others. The conversation shifts from conflict to collaboration. Others are more likely to listen, consider solutions, and engage productively because they feel heard and valued. This phrase also positions you as emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions while perceiving and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. Saying, I appreciate your honesty, reflects this capacity. You are not reacting impulsively, lashing out, or asserting dominance. You are responding with awareness and thoughtfulness. People naturally trust and respect those who demonstrate such calm presence. It communicates that you are grounded, composed, and capable of navigating challenging interactions without relying on force or noise. Your authority is recognized quietly but unmistakably, because others see that you are steady, fair, and perceptive. In practical terms, this phrase can be applied in a variety of everyday situations. During a difficult conversation with a colleague, it can disarm defensiveness and redirect focus toward problem solving. In leadership, it encourages transparency among team members, fostering a culture of honesty and mutual respect. In personal relationships, it validates openness, allowing difficult topics to be discussed without escalating tension. Even in casual interactions, acknowledging honesty strengthens connections, demonstrating that you value sincerity and are willing to engage constructively. The consistent use of this phrase cultivates a reputation for fairness, reliability, and calm authority. It is important to recognize that this phrase does not imply agreement or approval. You can appreciate honesty even when you do not share the same perspective or when the truth presented challenges your position. What matters is that you acknowledge the courage or integrity behind the communication. This subtle recognition signals strength. It shows that you are confident enough to face truth directly and respond with deliberation rather than defensiveness. Over time, people learn that when they speak honestly, they will be met with understanding and reflection. This encourages continued openness, creating an ongoing pattern of trust and mutual respect. Using this phrase also reinforces your own mental discipline. It trains you to pause, process information calmly, and respond with intention. Rather than reacting emotionally, you engage in measured reflection. This practice strengthens your composure in challenging situations and enhances your overall presence. People notice when someone consistently demonstrates this level of control and thoughtfulness. Your reputation as a calm, fair, and authoritative figure grows, and your influence expands naturally. Authority in this sense is not forced or demanded. It is quietly recognized by those who witness your steady, reflective approach to communication. The broader impact of this phrase is profound. Gratitude communicates calm power. When you acknowledge honesty, you are teaching by example. You show that truth can be met with composure, that clarity can coexist with respect, and that influence can be exercised without aggression. Conversations become more productive, conflicts are less likely to escalate, and collaboration is encouraged. Over time, your presence is associated with trust, wisdom, and steady authority. People feel understood in your presence and are more inclined to engage sincerely. This creates a foundation for relationships, leadership, and interactions that are both respectful and effective. Reflecting on this third phrase, it complements the lessons learned from the first two. The first phrase emphasized inclusion and collaboration, inviting others into dialogue. The second phrase highlighted understanding and thoughtful expression, reinforcing the importance of listening before speaking. This third phrase builds on that foundation by introducing gratitude and acknowledgement. It demonstrates that recognition of honesty and integrity strengthens trust, reduces defensiveness, and enhances your influence without force. Together, these three phrases establish a pattern of quiet, deliberate authority. They teach that presence, reflection, and respect are more powerful than volume, aggression, or impatience. Using this phrase consistently allows you to communicate effectively, manage tension, and cultivate trust in any interaction. It positions you as someone who responds with awareness, not reaction. It signals emotional intelligence, composure, and steady influence. It transforms difficult conversations into opportunities for collaboration and mutual respect. As we move to the next phrase, we will explore how to assert control and boundaries quietly while maintaining calm authority. With each phrase, your capacity to influence and earn respect naturally continues to grow, shaping every interaction with thoughtful presence and deliberate intention. The fourth phrase we will explore is, let's focus on what we can control. This simple statement carries profound authority because it directs attention to action rather than frustration. In many conversations, disagreements, or stressful situations, people instinctively dwell on problems they cannot change. They may argue about what has already happened, complain about external circumstances, or become overwhelmed by challenges outside their influence. This behavior often increases tension and diminishes effectiveness. When you speak these words, you redirect focus. You guide attention to what is within reach, to the steps that can be taken, and to solutions that are actionable. The phrase signals calm presence and intentional leadership. It demonstrates that you are not caught up in panic or blame, but are ready to address challenges with clarity and composure. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His insight teaches that true authority comes from mastery over one's own thoughts, emotions, and reactions. When you acknowledge that external events are often beyond control and instead emphasize controllable factors, you embody this Stoic wisdom. Saying, "Let's focus on what we can control," is a verbal expression of that philosophy. It communicates self-discipline, emotional stability, and practical reasoning. Others perceive this as leadership grounded in reason, and it naturally earns respect. Your presence becomes steady, reassuring, and influential because people sense that you are capable of navigating uncertainty with composure. Modern psychology confirms the effectiveness of this approach. Research consistently shows that focusing on controllable elements reduces anxiety and promotes problem solving. When people concentrate on what they can influence, their cognitive resources are directed toward constructive actions rather than wasted on rumination, blame, or frustration. Stress levels decrease, decision-making improves, and collaboration becomes more productive. By guiding conversations toward actionable steps rather than dwelling on uncontrollable factors, you create a sense of agency for yourself and for others. People feel supported, guided, and encouraged to participate in solutions rather than feeling trapped by problems. Imagine a project at work that is derailing. Deadlines have been missed and emotions are running high. Many would panic or assign blame. Meetings may become heated and frustration can spread quickly. Now picture yourself calmly saying, "Let's focus on what we can control." Instantly, the focus shifts from the past to the present. Attention moves from blame to solution. Tension eases, and people naturally look to you as a stabilizing presence. Your authority is recognized not because of volume or aggression, but because of clarity, reason, and the ability to guide others calmly. You demonstrate leadership by helping the group concentrate on actionable steps, reinforcing your credibility and influence. In personal life, this phrase is equally powerful. During disputes, financial stress, health concerns, or any overwhelming situation, emphasizing controllable factors demonstrates composure and clarity. Instead of reacting emotionally or dwelling on circumstances beyond your influence, you encourage practical focus. Family disagreements, for example, often escalate because each party emphasizes perceived injustices or what cannot be changed. By calmly stating, "Let's focus on what we can control," you redirect attention to constructive solutions. You model emotional intelligence and rational thinking, encouraging cooperation and reducing conflict. A modern example illustrates this principle clearly. Imagine a manager dealing with a missed deadline. Instead of expressing frustration or placing blame on team members, the manager says, "Let's focus on what we can control." The discussion shifts to identifying immediate steps to correct the situation. Team members feel guided, not criticized. Tension decreases and respect for the manager increases. This approach demonstrates practical wisdom, fosters problem solving, and builds trust. People naturally respond to leaders who remain calm in uncertainty, who emphasize solutions over complaints, and who focus on actionable results. Authority in this context is quiet yet undeniable. Using this phrase consistently cultivates habits of mental discipline and clarity. It encourages you to step back from reactive impulses and observe the situation objectively. You develop the ability to distinguish between what is within your influence and what is not. This distinction is fundamental to Stoic practice and modern emotional intelligence. Conversations, meetings, and personal interactions become more productive when the emphasis is on controllable actions. Your presence is recognized as calm, solution-oriented, and effective. People are more likely to listen, follow guidance, and cooperate because they perceive that your leadership is grounded in reason and composed judgment. The broader impact of this phrase is substantial. When applied thoughtfully, it shifts entire dynamics. Individuals who may have been anxious or defensive are encouraged to focus on productive action. Conflicts that could escalate into prolonged disputes are reframed into constructive dialogue. You model a mindset of composure, practicality, and resilience. Others are drawn to this approach because it reduces stress and fosters a sense of possibility even in difficult circumstances. Your ability to remain calm and focused becomes a source of influence, shaping both the outcomes of conversations and the way people perceive your presence. This fourth phrase complements the lessons learned from the previous three. The first phrase emphasized collaboration and inclusion. The second phrase focused on acknowledgement and thoughtful expression. The third phrase highlighted gratitude and recognition of honesty. Now, the fourth phrase introduces clarity and focus in the face of challenges. Together, these phrases build a framework for quiet influence. You are able to guide discussions, cultivate trust, and navigate difficulties without aggression. You demonstrate authority through composure, insight, and practical wisdom. Each phrase reinforces the others, creating a pattern of presence that is calm, deliberate, and respected. Practicing this phrase also strengthens your personal resilience. By consistently focusing on what can be controlled, you reduce unnecessary stress and maintain a steady perspective. You become less reactive to external events and more capable of guiding yourself and others through complexity. Conversations, both professional and personal, become more effective, and your influence deepens. You communicate a form of authority that is recognized naturally, not through force, volume, or dominance. People respond to calm power because it is stable, reliable, and constructive. As we move to the next phrase, we will build on this foundation. While this phrase emphasizes control and focus, the upcoming phrase will teach how to assert integrity and honesty without confrontation. By mastering these four phrases, you continue to cultivate a presence that commands respect quietly, influence that is steady, and interactions that are productive and meaningful. Each phrase contributes to a larger pattern of calm authority that can transform both professional and personal relationships. The fifth phrase we will examine is, "I will consider that and respond thoughtfully." This statement embodies patience, reflection, and deliberate control over one's responses. In moments of challenge, disagreement, or provocation, many people react immediately. Reactions are often colored by emotion, defensiveness, or the desire to assert dominance. These impulses can escalate conflict, damage relationships, and undermine credibility. Using this phrase demonstrates a very different approach. It signals that you are in control of yourself, that you are not reacting impulsively, and that your response is measured and intentional. There is a quiet authority in pausing, acknowledging what was said, and promising a considered reply. Others recognize this composure and naturally respect it. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher renowned for his insights into human behavior and emotional regulation, teaches us that we should remain calm in the face of provocation. He emphasizes that wisdom is shown not in quick, impulsive responses, but in deliberate, rational reflection. When you respond carefully, you are exhibiting intelligence, self-discipline, and calm authority. The phrase, "I will consider that and respond thoughtfully," reflects this principle perfectly. It communicates to others that you are neither intimidated nor reactive, and that you approach challenges with composure and reason. This calm signals strength, not hesitation, and demonstrates mastery over your own impulses. Modern psychology reinforces the value of this approach. Research in cognitive and behavioral sciences shows that pausing before responding reduces conflict and enhances persuasive power. When people feel that they are met with measured attention rather than impulsive reaction, they're more likely to listen, reflect, and engage constructively. Immediate reactions often provoke defensiveness or emotional escalation. By contrast, a calm pause communicates thoughtfulness, signaling to others that their input is considered seriously. This creates an atmosphere of mutual respect and encourages dialogue rather than confrontation. The deliberate nature of the response also enhances your influence. When others see that you reflect before speaking, your words carry weight and authority, and people are more inclined to trust your judgment. Picture a scenario in which someone challenges you aggressively, perhaps in a meeting, a negotiation, or a personal discussion. The instinct may be to respond defensively, to counter with equal intensity, or to assert control through volume or insistence. Instead, imagine taking a slow breath, acknowledging what was said, and calmly stating, "I will consider that," and respond thoughtfully. In that moment, the dynamic of the interaction shifts, the energy in the room changes, tension begins to decrease. People sense your calm authority. Your measured response communicates that you are confident, composed, and in control. You are not participating in the reactive cycle that often accompanies confrontation. Your authority is established silently, yet unmistakably, and others naturally adjust to your composed presence. This phrase demonstrates essential qualities that inspire respect. Self-control is evident because you restrain impulsive reaction. Patience is communicated because you signal that you will give the matter careful thought before responding. Careful judgment is implied because your response will be deliberate rather than hurried. Together, these qualities form a pattern of behavior that others perceive as mature, thoughtful, and authoritative. People respond not to volume or force, but to the steady, composed presence of someone who can manage both their own emotions and the flow of conversation. In practical settings such as friendships, negotiations, or professional interactions, this phrase has a powerful impact. In a personal dispute, it allows emotions to settle and prevents escalation. In a negotiation, it signals that you are considering all aspects and that your response will be rational and informed. In workplace interactions, it maintains credibility and composure while keeping relationships intact. Using this phrase consistently communicates confidence and self-possession. It shows that you are comfortable with uncertainty, capable of reflection, and unwilling to be swept away by the pressure of immediate circumstances. Consider a modern workplace example. A team member proposes a risky or controversial idea during a meeting. Many leaders might react immediately, either dismissing the idea or reacting emotionally. Using the phrase, "I will consider that and respond thoughtfully," allows you to maintain calm composure while signaling that you value the input. Team members feel that their contributions are being heard and considered seriously. Morale is maintained because people perceive fairness and attention. Your credibility grows because your responses are measured and reasoned. This careful approach fosters a culture of respect, thoughtful engagement, and trust. Over time, your influence expands naturally as others recognize your ability to manage difficult situations calmly and intelligently. This phrase also strengthens your internal discipline. Pausing to consider before responding develops patience and emotional regulation. It trains your mind to process information clearly, weigh consequences, and respond with intentionality rather than impulse. Repetition of this practice builds lasting habits of composure and reflection. Your presence in any conversation becomes marked by steadiness, authority, and thoughtful engagement. People instinctively respect those who demonstrate such control and who communicate deliberately. Authority, in this sense, is recognized quietly because it is grounded in self-mastery, not in the effort to dominate or impose. The broader impact of using this phrase is significant. It transforms reactive and potentially tense interactions into spaces for thoughtful engagement. It cultivates trust, encourages constructive dialogue, and reduces the likelihood of conflict escalation. It demonstrates that authority can be exercised without force and that influence arises naturally from calm composure. Over time, consistently using this phrase shapes the way people perceive you. They come to associate your presence with steadiness, reason, and measured authority. They understand that when you speak, it will be thoughtful, intentional, and considered. Reflecting on this fifth phrase, it builds on the lessons of the previous four. The first phrase emphasized inclusion and collaboration. The second phrase focused on acknowledgement and understanding. The third phrase introduced gratitude and recognition of honesty. The fourth phrase emphasized control and focus in challenging situations. Now, this fifth phrase adds thoughtfulness and deliberate response. Together, these phrases create a framework for quiet influence, guiding conversations with calm authority, encouraging trust and maintaining presence in any interaction. Each phrase reinforces the others, forming a pattern of behavior that is steady, respectful, and highly effective. As we move to the next phrase, we will explore how to communicate boundaries clearly without aggression. This continues the progression of building influence through calm authority, emotional intelligence, and deliberate communication. Mastering this fifth phrase ensures that your responses are respected, your presence commands attention, and your influence grows naturally through thoughtful, deliberate engagement. The sixth phrase we will focus on is, "I am not comfortable with that approach." At first, it may seem simple, a polite refusal, yet the power of this statement lies in its ability to assert boundaries while maintaining calm authority. Many people struggle to communicate limits effectively. They may agree to actions they find troubling, remain silent in uncomfortable situations, or allow others to overstep personal or professional boundaries. This often leads to stress, resentment, and loss of credibility. Speaking these words clearly and calmly communicates integrity. It signals that you operate according to principles and that you will not compromise your values, even in challenging circumstances. Others notice this composure and naturally recognize your authority, not through force, but through the clarity of your standards and the steadiness of your presence. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, teaches that boundaries preserve inner freedom and peace. He emphasizes that personal integrity and self-respect are essential for living a life of strength and calm. Respecting yourself sets a tone for how others treat you. By asserting limits thoughtfully, you communicate that you are deliberate in your decisions and that your actions are aligned with your values. Saying, "I am not comfortable with that approach," embodies this principle. It reflects careful judgment, emotional intelligence, and a commitment to operating with integrity. Others respond to this steadiness. They understand that your authority is rooted in self-awareness, and your influence grows naturally because people respect those who hold themselves to clear standards. Psychology supports this approach. Assertive communication establishes limits in a way that reduces resentment, prevents conflict escalation, and fosters respect. Individuals who assert themselves calmly, without aggression, are perceived as competent, reliable, and trustworthy. They are able to maintain healthy relationships, enforce ethical standards, and guide interactions constructively. When boundaries are communicated clearly and without hostility, people are more likely to understand and comply. They respond to calm authority because it signals strength, self-respect, and clarity of intention. In contrast, silence, avoidance, or reactive confrontation often leads to confusion, frustration, or power struggles. The key is that assertiveness paired with calm presence creates influence that is steady, respected, and enduring. Consider a scenario in a professional environment. A colleague asks you to carry out a task that is unethical or that violates established procedures. Many people might hesitate, comply reluctantly, or react defensively. Now imagine calmly saying, "I am not comfortable with that approach." The effect is immediate. Your words communicate that your decisions are guided by principles, not fear or submission. The room senses integrity in your tone, in the calm firmness of your delivery. There is no need for volume or intimidation. Authority is conveyed through the deliberate articulation of limits and standards. Others recognize your strength because it is grounded in reason, not in aggression. You demonstrate that integrity is far more persuasive than force. In everyday life, this phrase is equally valuable. Family dynamics, social settings, and professional interactions all present moments where boundaries must be asserted. A parent may need to guide a child or adult family member without escalating tension. A manager may need to uphold ethical standards while maintaining trust and morale. A friend may need to assert personal limits to maintain healthy relationships. In each instance, calmly expressing discomfort with a specific approach establishes clarity and respect. You communicate that your actions are intentional, guided by principle, and aligned with your values. Others respond to this clarity because it reduces uncertainty and models calm, deliberate conduct. Modern examples further illustrate the effectiveness of this phrase. In a workplace setting, a manager confronted with unrealistic demands from higher leadership can calmly state, "I am not comfortable with that approach," and then propose a solution that aligns with ethical standards and practical feasibility. The manager maintains credibility and authority while avoiding conflict escalation. In family or social settings, asserting boundaries in a measured tone prevents manipulation, reduces tension, and fosters mutual respect. Over time, consistently using this phrase builds a reputation for integrity, clarity, and reliable judgment. Your influence is rooted in the consistency of your principles and the steadiness of your demeanor. The tone of this phrase is crucial. Integrity becomes audible not through loudness or aggression, but through calm, measured speech. People sense sincerity in your voice and deliberate intention in your words. The authority it conveys is quiet yet unmistakable. By communicating discomfort with a particular action or approach, you demonstrate both respect for yourself and respect for others. You set clear expectations while preserving the dignity of the interaction. This approach fosters collaboration rather than conflict because it encourages others to adjust without feeling attacked or demeaned. This sixth phrase also reinforces self-discipline and emotional regulation. By using it consistently, you train yourself to pause, assess situations rationally, and articulate boundaries calmly. You avoid reacting impulsively or allowing emotion to dictate your responses. This habit strengthens both your internal composure and your external influence. People recognize and respond to those who navigate challenges with patience, clarity, and principle. Your presence becomes associated with steady guidance, thoughtful judgment, and ethical leadership. Authority is quietly observed and respected because it is grounded in intentional behavior and consistency. The broader impact of mastering this phrase is substantial. It transforms interactions where boundaries might otherwise be challenged into opportunities for clarity and mutual understanding. Conversations that could become contentious are reframed into exchanges guided by principle and calm reasoning. You demonstrate that influence and respect do not require aggression or dominance. Authority emerges naturally when you communicate limits thoughtfully, act in alignment with values, and maintain composure under pressure. Over time, this creates a reputation of reliability, ethical clarity, and quiet power. Reflecting on this sixth phrase, it builds upon the lessons of the first five phrases. The initial phrases focused on collaboration, acknowledgement, gratitude, focus, and thoughtfulness. Now, the sixth phrase introduces assertive integrity. It teaches that setting boundaries clearly, calmly, and consistently is a cornerstone of respectful influence. Together, these six phrases create a comprehensive framework for commanding respect without shouting. They guide conversations, enhance trust, and allow you to navigate professional and personal interactions with composure, insight, and quiet authority. As we move to the next phrase, we will explore how to project calm confidence even under scrutiny. Each phrase builds on the last, deepening your presence and strengthening your ability to influence others while maintaining integrity, emotional intelligence, and steady authority. By mastering these six phrases, you are creating a pattern of communication that inspires respect, fosters trust, and shapes interactions in a deliberate and thoughtful manner. The seventh phrase we will explore is, "I am focused on the solution, not the problem." At first, this may sound like a simple statement, but it carries deep authority and influence. Many people in difficult situations become consumed by problems. They spend energy complaining, analyzing what went wrong, or assigning blame. These reactions, while natural, often prolong tension and create stagnation. They focus on what cannot be changed rather than what can be acted upon. When you use this phrase, you shift the attention from the negative to the constructive. You signal to yourself and to others that your priority is action and progress. This shift communicates calm authority, competence, and intentionality. People are naturally drawn to individuals who emphasize solutions rather than dwelling on challenges, because it instills confidence and clarity in uncertain situations. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor and philosopher, provides insight into this approach. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." His teaching reminds us that action communicates more than words. Complaints, criticism, or prolonged focus on problems rarely inspire respect. Instead, demonstrating focus, purpose, and constructive engagement shows leadership. By stating, "I am focused on the solution, not the problem," you embody this Stoic wisdom. You act as someone who understands the limitations of complaining and the power of deliberate action. This phrase allows you to establish authority through competence, presence, and clear focus, rather than through volume or insistence. Modern cognitive studies reinforce this principle. Focusing on solutions engages higher-level thinking in both the speaker and the listener. When the mind concentrates on actionable steps, it moves from reactive patterns to proactive problem-solving. This cognitive shift reduces stress, promotes clarity, and encourages collaboration. Others in the conversation notice this shift. Their attention follows your focus, and the energy of the interaction becomes constructive rather than defensive. By consistently directing attention to solutions, you cultivate an environment where calm authority is recognized naturally and where people are inspired to act rather than complain. Picture a heated disagreement in the workplace, a negotiation, or even a family discussion. Tensions rise, voices may escalate, and frustration can dominate the interaction. Now imagine calmly stating, "I am focused on the solution, not the problem." Instantly, the energy of the conversation changes. People notice your composure. Attention shifts from what went wrong to what can be done. The room begins to align with your focus. Your words signal leadership, not dominance. You demonstrate calm control while inviting others to participate in finding a constructive path forward. This phrase transforms conflict into collaboration. Respect naturally follows because authority is conveyed through presence and purpose rather than through volume or force. This phrase communicates multiple qualities simultaneously. It conveys agency because you are directing attention toward action. It conveys calmness because your response demonstrates steadiness amid potential chaos. It conveys competence because it highlights practical thinking and problem-solving skills. These qualities are recognized immediately and deeply. People respond to calm, solution-oriented leadership instinctively because it reduces uncertainty and provides a clear path forward. The authority it conveys is not enforced. It is recognized quietly because it arises from clarity, intelligence, and focused presence. In everyday life, this phrase has wide applicability. In professional settings, it can redirect a team meeting or guide a discussion during a crisis. In personal interactions, it can diffuse arguments, foster constructive dialogue, or guide decisions in stressful circumstances. In social situations, it shifts attention from complaints or criticism to practical outcomes, allowing conversations to remain productive and respectful. By using this phrase regularly, you develop a pattern of communication that consistently emphasizes action and solutions over reaction and negativity. This pattern builds credibility, trust, and influence over time. A modern example illustrates this principle clearly. Imagine a leader facing a sudden challenge, such as a project running behind schedule or an unexpected problem in operations. Instead of dwelling on the mistakes or assigning blame, the leader calmly says, "I am focused on the solution, not the problem." The focus of the team shifts immediately. Attention moves from frustration to constructive action. People feel guided rather than criticized. Morale is maintained, trust is reinforced, and authority is recognized naturally. This is the essence of quiet power. Influence is earned through reason, composure, and clarity, not through shouting or coercion. This phrase also strengthens personal resilience and emotional regulation. By focusing on solutions rather than problems, you train your mind to remain practical, clear, and composed under pressure. You learn to avoid becoming overwhelmed by challenges outside your control. Your presence in any conversation becomes one of steady guidance and competence. People perceive calm authority as inherently trustworthy and reliable. They respect those who can navigate complexity without succumbing to frustration or fear. The broader impact of mastering this phrase extends beyond individual interactions. It shapes the dynamics of teams, families, and communities. When a person consistently emphasizes solutions, others begin to mirror this approach. Conversations become more productive, decision-making improves, and stress decreases. By modeling solution-oriented behavior, you inspire others to adopt the same focus. Authority in this context is quiet, natural, and enduring because it is grounded in reason, consistency, and calm action. Reflecting on this seventh phrase, it builds upon the lessons of the previous six. Collaboration, acknowledgement, gratitude, focus on controllable factors, thoughtfulness, and boundaries have all contributed to cultivating calm authority. Now, focusing on solutions adds a new dimension. It demonstrates proactive thinking, agency, and competence. Together, these phrases create a framework for influencing others without aggression. They teach that respect is earned through presence, clarity, composure, and deliberate action, rather than volume, force, or intimidation. As we prepare to explore the next phrase, we will deepen the theme of clarity and presence in communication. Mastering this seventh phrase ensures that your influence continues to grow, that your interactions remain constructive, and that your authority is recognized naturally. Each phrase builds upon the previous one, creating a pattern of communication and behavior that inspires trust, commands respect, and demonstrates calm, deliberate power in every interaction. The eighth and final phrase in our series is, "Let's take a moment and reflect." At first glance, it may seem simple, a polite pause in conversation. Yet the power of this phrase is profound. Many people rush to respond, driven by emotion, habit, or the desire to be heard. These impulsive reactions often escalate tension, obscure clarity, and reduce influence. By inviting reflection, you shift the focus from immediate reaction to deliberate consideration. You create space for thoughtful dialogue, and in doing so, you communicate calm authority. This phrase signals that you are measured, intentional, and capable of guiding others without force. It allows you to assert influence quietly, yet unmistakably, because it demonstrates mastery over your own emotions and presence in the moment. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, observed that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. His insight reminds us that much of our distress comes from reactive thinking, from imagining consequences, judgments, or attacks before they actually occur. Reflection allows us to examine our thoughts, our emotions, and the situation at hand before responding. By saying, "Let's take a moment and reflect," you are inviting both yourself and others to step back from immediate emotional reactions. You are guiding the conversation toward clarity, calm, and constructive engagement. This pause is not hesitation. It is deliberate, measured, and powerful. It communicates that you operate with wisdom rather than impulse, and that your influence stems from reason rather than volume or urgency. Psychology confirms the impact of pausing before responding. Studies show that taking even a brief moment to reflect reduces impulsivity and allows individuals to respond with greater clarity and emotional intelligence. People who practice reflective pauses are more persuasive, more credible, and more respected in conversations. Others naturally follow the rhythm you set. When you create a pause, you also create a sense of order in the interaction. Emotions that may have driven heated responses are tempered, and attention is refocused on understanding, reasoning, and problem-solving. In this way, reflection becomes a tool for influence. It is a way to manage not only your own reactions, but also the emotional tone of the room. Imagine a tense meeting where disagreement is escalating. Voices are rising, and the conversation risks becoming unproductive. At this moment, you calmly say, "Let's take a moment and reflect." The effect is immediate. The energy in the room shifts. Participants pause. They consider their words, and tension begins to dissipate. Respect arises naturally because your calm presence guides the interaction without aggression or domination. This phrase communicates that you are thoughtful, unshakable, and intentional. It demonstrates leadership that is quiet, principled, and influential. Others recognize the authority inherent in measured behavior because it contrasts sharply with impulsive reactions. In practical life, this phrase is widely applicable. During negotiations, it allows space for careful consideration of options and strategies, reducing misunderstandings and conflict. In family interactions, it prevents arguments from escalating and encourages mutual understanding. In professional discussions, it allows time for evaluation and ensures that decisions are thoughtful rather than reactive. By creating a pause, you model a pattern of behavior that others are inclined to follow. You demonstrate that influence is earned through composure and clarity, not through immediate assertion or volume. The authority conveyed by this phrase is subtle, yet deeply compelling. A modern example illustrates its effectiveness. Consider a high-stakes negotiation where emotions are running high. One party becomes aggressive, raising their voice and pushing their agenda. Instead of responding in kind, you calmly say, "Let's take a moment and reflect." This momentary pause shifts the dynamic. The conversation is no longer reactive. The opposing party senses that your position is grounded in thoughtful consideration. Attention turns to your calm authority, and respect is established without a single raised voice. This demonstrates how reflection can prevent escalation, maintain credibility, and assert influence naturally. The phrase positions you as someone who is in control of both your emotions and the direction of the interaction. Reflection also conveys mastery over oneself. By giving space for thought, you show that you're not driven by impulse or anxiety. You signal that your actions and responses are guided by reason, insight, and principle. Others sense this mastery, and it creates magnetic authority. The phrase invites collaboration while subtly steering the interaction. It teaches that influence is not about forcing outcomes, but about shaping them through deliberate presence and thoughtful action. The calm confidence it conveys inspires respect and encourages others to engage with clarity and composure. This eighth phrase completes the framework we have been building. Together with the previous 7 phrases, it forms a complete set of tools for commanding respect without shouting. Collaboration, acknowledgement, gratitude, focus, thoughtfulness, boundaries, and solution-oriented language all combine with reflection to create a communication style that is deliberate, composed, and influential. These 8 phrases allow you to navigate conversations, conflicts, and negotiations with steady authority. They teach that respect is earned through calm presence, ethical integrity, and thoughtful action rather than aggression or volume. Using this phrase consistently builds a pattern of communication that inspires trust, maintains relationships, and demonstrates intelligence. Reflection creates space for clarity and understanding, allowing authority to emerge naturally. It reinforces the principles of Stoic wisdom while aligning with modern psychological insights. In practice, it strengthens your influence, enhances collaboration, and deepens the respect you receive from others. By inviting reflection, you cultivate not only calm authority, but also meaningful engagement in every interaction. As we conclude this block, remember that reflection is not hesitation. It is deliberate control over your thoughts, emotions, and responses. It creates a powerful presence that is both respected and influential. This 8th phrase solidifies the complete framework for commanding respect quietly. It ensures that your words and actions are guided by wisdom, composure, and principle, leaving a lasting impact on everyone you encounter. Now let us integrate all 8 phrases into daily practice. Understanding them individually is valuable, but true influence emerges when they are applied together. Begin conversations calmly. Begin with presence, not reaction. When challenges arise, frame them with inclusion, inviting participation and collaboration. Use phrases that acknowledge honesty and perspective, signaling that you are attentive and reflective. Shift focus to solutions instead of problems, directing energy toward action rather than complaint. Set boundaries when necessary, ensuring that your integrity is preserved and your interactions are grounded in principle. Pause for reflection when tension grows, allowing yourself and others the space to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Each phrase is not an isolated tool. They build upon one another, reinforcing a rhythm of calm authority. When used together, they create an invisible current that guides conversations and relationships toward constructive and respectful outcomes. Each phrase reinforces the next in subtle yet powerful ways. Starting with inclusion, establishes collaboration and signals openness. Acknowledging honesty validates engagement, fostering trust. Emphasizing solutions redirects attention from frustration to action, creating a constructive focus. Setting boundaries demonstrates principle and self-respect, ensuring that influence is built on integrity rather than compliance. Reflection amplifies every other phrase by ensuring that responses are measured and deliberate. The interplay between these approaches creates what psychologists call incremental influence. Each interaction compounds, gradually shaping how others perceive you. Respect grows not through volume or insistence, but through consistent demonstration of composure, awareness, and thoughtful action. Stoics, in their teachings, recognize this as mastery of self. Authority is derived from presence, not force. It is felt by others as a steady calm that commands attention without demanding it. Consider the psychological impact of this framework. Humans are wired to respond to clarity, consistency, and calm. Impulsive speech, anger, or excessive assertiveness can trigger defensiveness and conflict. When your communication is deliberate, reflective, and solution-oriented, it engages higher cognitive functions in your listeners. They perceive competence, reliability, and control. Conversations that might have escalated into tension now become opportunities for collaboration and influence. By practicing these phrases regularly, you train both yourself and those around you to operate within this quiet authority. Influence becomes habitual because it is grounded in consistent action and measured presence. A practical modern example can illustrate the impact. Imagine a workplace meeting where stress is high, deadlines are tight, and personalities are clashing. By calmly integrating 3 to 4 of these phrases, you can shift the dynamic instantly. You might begin by inviting collaboration, acknowledging a colleague's perspective, then refocusing attention on solutions. If tension rises, you assert boundaries and pause for reflection. Each intervention is subtle but cumulative. Others notice your composure. They begin to follow your rhythm. The room becomes calmer, more productive, and more respectful. This is the essence of quiet influence. It is not flashy, it is not dramatic, but it is deeply persuasive. People naturally respond to this form of authority because it is rooted in mastery over self and deliberate action rather than coercion. In personal life, these phrases operate with equal effectiveness. Family disagreements, difficult conversations with friends, or conflicts in social interactions can all benefit from this framework. By remaining composed, acknowledging honesty, setting boundaries, focusing on solutions, and allowing space for reflection, escalation is prevented, cooperation is encouraged, mutual respect is reinforced. The authority you convey is not imposed. It is quietly recognized because it emanates from clarity, patience, and ethical consistency. Over time, these practices shape how others approach you. They learn that your presence signals calm, measured guidance. They listen not because you demand it, but because your words carry weight. Consistent application of these phrases transforms influence into a habit. Authority becomes a natural extension of presence, speech, and behavior. You no longer rely on force, aggression, or volume to be heard. Instead, influence flows from a foundation of reason, integrity, and deliberate communication. Conversations that might have been fraught with conflict now become opportunities for connection and collaboration. Decision-making becomes guided by clarity rather than emotion. Interactions are marked by respect and mutual understanding. This is not a temporary tactic. It is a way of being. Each use of these phrases reinforces the next, creating a durable pattern of effective communication and measured authority. Respect is not granted by shouting. It is earned quietly through measured words, presence, and integrity. Each phrase you have learned reflects calm, mastery, and self-control. As you practice them, you begin to embody the qualities that Stoics admired. You demonstrate authority that is not feared, not loud, but undeniable. Your identity shifts gradually. You are not reactive, you are composed. You are not pressured by the impulses of others. You are persuasive because your influence emerges from thoughtful consideration, ethical integrity, and calm presence. Over time, this identity becomes natural. Your speech, your tone, your gestures, and your decisions all reflect the principles behind these phrases. People notice. Influence is acknowledged quietly but unmistakably. Engaging with these phrases daily transforms both your internal and external experience. Internally, you cultivate patience, emotional regulation, and clarity of thought. Externally, you communicate authority, earn trust, and foster collaboration. In conversations, meetings, or negotiations, your words carry weight because they are delivered with intention. Your silence between phrases, your measured pauses, your focus on solutions all reinforce the authority you project. Engage in this practice consistently. Let these phrases guide your words, your tone, and your presence. They are not tricks or superficial strategies. They are enduring principles of influence grounded in Stoic wisdom and human psychology. Quiet authority is a habit cultivated over time. Every conversation is a chance to practice mastery. Every interaction is an opportunity to reinforce presence and influence. Respect is drawn to those who act thoughtfully, who embody calm, who communicate clearly, and who operate with integrity. By consistently integrating these 8 phrases into your interactions, you are not only communicating effectively, but also shaping your identity. You are becoming the person others look to in moments of tension, uncertainty, or challenge, because your calm presence signals competence, trustworthiness, and authority. This is the essence of quiet influence. Remember, respect is drawn to those who act thoughtfully. Every interaction is an opportunity to demonstrate composure and wisdom. Let these phrases guide your words and actions. As you continue your practice, like this video, comment with your favorite phrase, share this knowledge with others, and subscribe to continue your journey toward quiet mastery. Each conversation is a step toward becoming someone whose calm authority is recognized and trusted. These phrases are not just words, they are a framework for a life lived with clarity, composure, and enduring influence.